Gentlemen and ladies in the house, kindly populate questions. I've got 3 or 4 so far. So I'm just going to throw the questions out to Reverend Bakare to take one by one. We have someone on here, sir, who says
Well,
he's very...
I am glad that you are the coordinator. So when they throw question to me, I will throw it back to you.
These ones are for you, sir. This person is appreciated the session, says he's very blessed by the sessions, and he wants to know where he can get materials to consult for further information on the topic. That's a part of the question. Second part of the questions is asking about how he can enroll to be a trained personnel as a Christian therapist. And this person is in Nigeria. And I'm sure that that's your forte, sir. Another question that aligns with that, sir, is asking about how someone can find a Christian counselor here in the UK. Reverend Bakari, sir.
Let me start with the last one. If you're looking for a Christian counselor, you'll find one here. If you contact us, we actually work as a charity, and our charges are actually less than half of what they are charging out there. So, and like I always tell people when they make inquiries, search for how much professional therapy costs and then come back to me, and then we'll let you know that we are actually charging you less than half the price, because especially within the Black community, we know that our people, if possible, they want everything free, and training is not free, supervision is not free, most of the things that we do are not free. So if the person can inbox me, I will be more than happy to support you in every way possible. Regarding the person who is asking for who is in Nigeria, who is asking for uh, additional material, if the individual, okay, I think some people, if I'm going to mute those who are, yeah, please, if you are not talking, mute yourself, and if not, I'm going to mute you if I find you here. Thank you very much. So every country has outlets where they can be trained. But let me warn you ahead of time, whether here or in Nigeria, there are different training institutes that are not recognized. If you train with those, you can't call yourself a qualified counselor. So look around in your local community. There are colleges, reputable colleges that offer accredited qualifications. My qualification is recognized throughout the country for all the levels that I have gained over the years. You want to go somewhere and say, yes, I'm qualified for this. If you are here in the UK and you want additional information, we can guide you and support you. By the grace of God, I'm not only a counselor, I've also trained as a counseling supervisor. So by the grace of God, we will be able to support you if you are within the UK here to be able to get through the journey. In terms of materials, if I know the person who is making the request, I can actually send you some materials. I'm actually thinking I might be able to get a summary of what I've done today out as well at one point. And hopefully this will form a chapter by the grace of God in a future book that my Baba and I will be writing. So, but if I know the person, I will be more than happy to send links and information to you regarding this issue of mental health. In fact, let me say, all this kidnapping in Nigeria, all this insecurity is enough mental health
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because people can't sleep.
Yeah, fear of living.
People can't sleep.
Okay,
All
day-to-day.
this political pressure upon pressure, you are voting, but your vote doesn't count.
Mm.
That is even enough issue regarding mental health.
100%.
And
Mm.
there's need for us to try as much as possible to look after ourselves.
Yeah.
Every time I get a message here that our people are dying from Nigeria, the first thing that comes to my mind is the impact of mental health.
Mm.
Somebody who retired
Mm.
and they couldn't get their pension, they couldn't get their gratuity, they have to be begging and bribing for what they have worked for. Somebody who built a house and rented it out and couldn't even get the tenants are not paying and they are not leaving the house. Mental health. We can go on and on. So you want to sleep in the night,
Mm.
there's fear of armed robbers.
Mm.
So poverty as well in the land, unemployment in the land. Some people have got 3, 4, 5 graduates in their house. They sponsor those children through universities. Now all of them are back home. There's no work. Mental health. How do you want such a parent to feel?
Mm.
A few more questions here, sir. Once you've come, yeah. This one says, regarding the statistics, I have the feeling that the numbers are so high because medical attention is given to people in the UK, but not so in Nigeria. And another person said he was invited by a lady. He wishes that the lady will share the contact of the speaker with him or her, please. Now, Reverend Bakari, how are we going to manage the issues in Nigeria? And it was like you read the questions because it's just what you've just said about Nigerian situation.
When I first arrived this country,
Mm,
within the first few weeks, I was expecting light to go, light did not go. I look
mm.
around the street and I ask myself, and our leaders are coming to this country.
Mm.
I had a case of someone who mistakenly hit, what is a dog or a cat? And the person was arrested.
Yeah.
And I said within myself, it is only in my country that we treat human beings like animals. Even in this country, if you kill birds, you can be arrested. So our issue is systemic. And though we are not talking about politics here, the saddest part of it is the fact that those who are not ruling us well, we can kick them out if we want to. The same people will come and bribe us with 1 gallon of palm
And five
oil and
naira.
5,000 naira, but
We
we
sell
take
am.
it and vote for them for another 4 years.
Mm.
So it is sad. And honestly, take me by my words. I believe in prayer. I have prayed for Nigeria. We are still praying, but we need to do more than prayer. We need action. And you and I, from
Mm.
here, should speak to people that we have influence over back home, that they can use their voting right to bring in God-fearing people and kick out godless leaders. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
They are impoverishing the people and enriching themselves. In terms of getting my contact is very easy. Just Google Dr. Gideon Bakari. It will give you all the details. My counseling practice, my phone number, email address, Dr. Gideon Bakari. You can do that right away. I will be waiting for your call or your text message, and we can take it further from there. for our people in Nigeria, honestly, it's a collaborative effort.
Mm.
All our people who are claiming that they have juju power, what have they been able to do with the bandit? All our prophets who are claiming that they have spiritual power, what have they been able to do with the bandit? When there is sin and godlessness in the land, we talk to God, God doesn't answer. And that is the bitter truth.
Okay. Here we have 1916, 1919. Okay, it says, how can faith communities create safer spaces for people to talk about mental health struggles?
That's not on here. Okay, let's Reverend answer that. How can faith?
Like I said at the beginning of this teaching, 35 years ago, by the grace of God, I started working as a minister. And I have given pastoral counseling to people for the last 35 years. But I put my hands up. There's a difference between pastoral counseling and professional counseling. As pastors, a number of us are not adequately equipped to do what we are doing. And there's need for us to recognize our limits. So, and now we have professionals who are equally Christians, professionals who are equally pastors within the church setting. And that is how we can really work together. So faith community should work together. That is the essence of this lecture, that the government cannot do it alone. And another thing is that there's limitation in what they are doing. They're only looking at the psychological aspect of it, the physiological aspect of it. They're not looking at the spiritual aspect of it. And that is why what we are trying to do is holistic. So from a Christian perspective or Christian community perspective, we should learn to open up when we are struggling. And we should also be willing to pay for therapy. There are charities out there like ours and others out there who are not charging so much for the support that they are giving. You will realize the fact that you don't even know yourself until you start therapy. So faith communities can work together, pastors can support. And one thing about our work, we talk about limit of practice. Even as a therapist, I know my limit of practice. I cannot work with someone who have psychosis because that is CPCAB level 3 or level C. I have to refer the person to a psychiatrist. So what I'm saying is the fact that we should not shy away from looking for support within the faith community. When it gets to the pastors or Christian leaders, if they have tried all they could, they should refer the individuals to Christian professional counselors who can pick it up from there.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope that the person who answered that question is pleased. Now, a few things I want to chip in and also a few questions on here that I'll take on and allow Reverend Bakari to round up before we go to the next point.
Thank you.
One, when we talk about anxiety, there are genetic predisposition to anxiety. You might have gene from your father, gene from your mother that already predisposes you to anxiety. So the anxiety then might be relational. It might be other forms of anxiety that creeps into relation. It might be from learned behavior that Reverend had already touched about, what you saw your father and mother do, what your father and mother did to you, what your siblings did to you, what your uncle and aunties in the neighborhood did to you when you were younger. Parenting styles. Unfortunately, what had happened to us when we were younger, if we continue to dwell on it, I'm going to be 59, if I'm dwelling on the failures of my parents in raising me, and I don't acknowledge the anxiety sources and know what to work on, I can't blame them forever for my failures. They have done it how they knew how to do it at those period of time in their lives. And bear in mind, if a parent has 7 children, each of the child has been raised differently because their situation changes as they advance in the way they accrue the family members. So for you and I, who might be having issues regarding relationship or anxiety of any sort that might creep into relationship, whether a relationship with money, relationship with jobs, relationship with friends, relationship with neighbors, relationship with business, whatever relational problem we might be having, let's identify the source of the anxiety first and prune it. This thing that's causing me panic, what's in it? Where is it? Because so you put tangibility into that point that you're saying as fearfulness. Be open to discussing it. A person just asked a question regarding church, relational anxiety in everyday church life. What does it look like? Now, in Africa, we don't even seek help. We don't communicate with each other. We're fearful because I don't trust my sister. If I say I'm seeking help, she'll go and tell my story to everybody in the church, everybody in the community. And when we talk about the country where we're in, the data that they have is mostly of the white people. How many of us actually seek counseling? How many of us report to hospital, even for medical checks? So there is a lot of responsibility we have to take on board, you and I. Before we expect something from the church, before we expect relationship from the pastor, before we expect pastor, his wife, his entire family to be looking after everybody in the church, we need to own our own health. We need to take some responsibility to ourselves. A lovely gentleman just enlightened us as well earlier. Self-care, setting boundaries. Pastor will not do that for you. A church agreement, a church setup will not do that for you. They say charity begins at home. It's your home where you spend most times. What you take to church is what you have learned from your home. If your home has not worked well for you, what is the church going to do for Sunday service or midweek service that you attend? So at the end of the day, we all, you and myself with my big mouth, we have responsibility to our own relational health, to our own relational well-being and every other area of our life. So we're not blaming other people for our failures or lapses because we all have responsibility. Reverend Bakari, sir, the last 2 questions, healthy boundary, how can we learn it? And what does that look like in relationship? I'm thinking there, you've already said something
I
about
joyfully throw the question back to you, ma.
when we talk about healthy boundaries, for me personally, when we talk about healthy boundaries, you are in a relationship with somebody, friend to friend, sister to sister, siblings to siblings, neighbor to you, work colleague. What is paramount first is empathy. What you are going to offer to the person that's having relationship with you. Can you take it? Kindness, respect, civility. You bring in civility on the table of that relationship to earn it. So if you as a person have brought civility on board, then you can set boundaries because you're not bringing gbasgbos. So if you bring civility and the other person is bringing gbasgbos, it's very easy for you to call that person because at the end of the day, you're a mature person. You're bringing kindness to relationship. It should be because it's relationship. I relate to you, relate to me. It's a tit for tat. It's a relationship that we give and take. So if you are the only one giving, or you are the only one who is a taker to joke, you always take and not ashamed of taking, then you need to check yourself. If you're not checking yourself, I am going to check you by withdrawing my relationship. So boundaries is very easy to set, but you can't set boundaries when you yourself have not got any inbuilt way of living right, inbuilt way of relating to others. When you have got that, you know what it looks to be in relationship. It's then very easy for you to cut what's not looking like it. Otherwise, sir, you'll be dependent on the other person's happiness to be happy. You'll be dependent on the other person's openness to relationship before you can enjoy a relationship. then you are begging, you're seeking support, you're seeking validation. You don't have to. You've got to be holistic yourself so that the person you're relating with sees you as an added person, not a burden. You and I would have to do that and set that boundary. Otherwise, everybody that wants relationship with you, if you open your door to them, you will suffer fatigue from compassion. It's called compassion fatigue because you're relating with people who do not deserve you. You're going to become compassionate. You're going to be fatigued from compassion, and that will imbibe you negatively. So relationship has boundary when you yourself in that relationship is healthy all round. I'm going to stop there if the Reverend Bakari has anything to add, so we can go into the next part, which is special prayer from Evangelist Mrs. Ige.
Thank you so much, Ma. I would just want to add that I have mentioned this many times when we have marriage seminars and talking about relationship. If whatever is happening is one-sided, it is toxic.
It is.
I'm the only one who calls. I'm the only one who sends text message. I'm the only one who visits. I'm the only one who cares. I'm the only one. The other person, in fact, technically, the other person should know that that is not a relationship. And the first step is to, like we discussed in the teaching, call a conference. Hey, let's talk. What's going on here? And by sharing what you are feeling, that may be the game changer. If the person still wants relationship with you, they will change. And if the person doesn't want relationship with you, they will carry on doing what they are doing. Then you have to determine within you whether you are truly respected or you respect yourself and you want to be respected. And that's why we talk about boundaries. So thank you very much, Ma. We are always happy to have you, to give some additional insights. God bless you.
You are welcome to our Sunday worship service. Highly impactful messages, unique Christian fellowship, life-transforming worship service, burden-lifting prayers. Evangelical Global Outreach Church, EGOC, London Parish, House of Wonders, 198 Ripple Road, Barking, Essex, IG11 7PR. Time of worship, Sundays 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. For counseling, prayers, and more information, please call +44 07958 083 479. Email pastor@egoc.org.uk. Website www.egoc.org.uk. Your total well-being is our concern.